Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. 708, 38 degrees, getting up to 48 here at WOBM AM 1160 at 1310 News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pup app and at WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. You know, sometimes, Zach, life hands you lemons.
Yes.
And the key is making lemonade.
This is true.
On the phone right now, we have this morning's lemonade. Good morning, Jonathan Petro.
Good morning, Jeremy. How are you?
Jonathan, I'm not going to lie. I love Peter Rosario from the Y. That rhymed. He is fantastic. He's a great CEO, is doing great things at the Y. But just in the spirit of full disclosure, I would way rather talk to you.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, and Peter's all right. Peter's all right.
No, he's good people.
He's not me, but he's all right.
Exactly. So, Jonathan, you are here to talk for a little bit about the YMCA of Ocean County. And you, as the immediate past, were you the immediate past president? Is that what you call the past chair? What do we call you?
Yes, the immediate past president.
Okay, so as the immediate past president, Jonathan, what can you tell us about the YMCA? What's your what if you had to sum up what the Y is all about? How would you kind of sum that up for us?
Well, the YMCA has been in Toms River for 40 years. Obviously, the organization has been around for significantly longer, but we are 40 years at the New Jersey Shore, as my husband likes to say, and we are all about healthy living and social responsibility and youth development. So we have classes for children. We are the largest daycare provider for children in Ocean County. And we serve people from age 10 weeks old up until people when they reach 110 years old or beyond, if they can. We have 100 classes for adults, and we are the biggest provider of swim lessons for kids in Ocean County.
Wow. Yeah, so I think when people think about the Y, I think of two things, right? The first thing I think of when I think YMCA, exactly. And Zach, by the way, if only we had a television show, it would be really great. Because Zach was just doing the YMCA dance over on the other side of the glass. I think he was were you doing the Indian chief there, or were you the cowboy? What were you over there?
I think I was giving the cowboy.
Okay, good. So we know about the YMCA dance. And the other thing I think of is swim lessons. I think of the Y being where you go to learn how to swim. John, I know that you were a Y kid, right?
I was a Y kid. I was actually, we call ourselves Y brats. I was at the YMCA from the time I was 6 years old and swam there until I was 18, and I even coached swimming there for a while.
So is that what got you hooked into wanting to give back and be part of the Y as it kind of has had a renaissance here in Ocean County?
It is. As I said, I was a Y brat. So I made my best friends at the YMCA when I was a little kid and stayed with it. When I went away to college, I was even involved with the YMCA down in Richmond and came back here. And thankfully, I had enough friends who were still going to the Y. They brought me right back in and said, "We need you here. We want you to be here." And it was just a great opportunity to stay with my second home. The YMCA was a place I grew up as a kid, and I was a shy kid. And my coaches at the Y and the people at the Y were able to, bring me out and make me much more social and also keep me fit at the same time, which was always a big thing when I was a kid.
So are you saying you were shy as a child?
I was. Do you believe that?
Now knowing you as you are today, I do find that hard to believe. I can
imagine.
I mean, let's just be fair. I mean, as a managing partner of a major law firm here in Ocean County, right? You are active in multiple organizations. You're a board member of the Ocean County Vocational School. You are a big brother in Big Brothers Big Sisters.
That's true.
Obviously, very active at the YMCA.
That's true.
I saw pictures of you all over the internet at the polar bear plunge. I mean, that's not a shy kid sport over there. right?
No, it's not. And I'm glad you mentioned the polar bear plunge because it was a great weekend. We had about 6,000 people who actually went in the water, but the amount of people that were over on the boardwalk was phenomenal. We had families come out. We had kids going in the water, and it was great for business too over at the boardwalk.
Yeah, what was it? Was it 6,000? Is that the number?
6,000.
My goodness. Okay.
That's what they're reporting.
So when we talk about get up, get out, and do something, Jonathan, that's what you're all about, right?
I am. I love our community. I love Ocean County. I love Toms River, and even on these mornings where I have to get up and talk to you, which I love. If I wasn't talking to you, I'd be at the Y working out right now.
Okay, so Jonathan, and we're gonna get Peter on in the not too distant future when he has, when he's cleared up the laryngitis thing, right? Because we gotta get that fixed. Okay, but
that's true. Yes.
But you and I, we have some very interesting topics to discuss, if you don't mind. Right.
Okay.
Number one, you alluded to him earlier. Your husband covered for me on Friday morning.
He did?
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware of that, but he was on the radio.
Really? I didn't see it on Facebook at all.
Yeah. So how do you feel about what is clearly a blossoming radio career for Kenny Malagier?
Well, I will say this: he can't hold a candle to you.
Whatever.
But beyond that, I think he's fantastic. We always say he's got a great face for radio. But no, he's great. He should really be a game show host or a talk show host. That's really that's his wheelhouse. He says he's a florist and he's a small business owner, and Narcissus takes all of his time. But really, he should really be mayor of Toms River. I mean, he should be running at some point in his life.
So did you get up at 4:00 in the morning with him?
Of course, I did.
Wow. Well, that's good. Now,
when Ken wakes up, it's Good Morning World, and everybody has to be awake. Me, the dog, the neighbors. We have a police escort to take him into the radio station. It's a big production.
That's very funny. Well, I will tell you that just in case it became something that happened regularly. Laura woke up with me. My wife, Laura, for those of you that don't know, I know, Jonathan, you know that, but she woke up with me for the first couple of mornings, and then now we're in a completely different world. It's like, please don't wake me up at 4 a.m. I'll be downstairs, or I'll be in the other room. Please be as quiet as you possibly can. I will probably listen to you around 6. So you're still in the honeymoon phase there.
But see, Laura wears the pants in your family. And I don't wear the pants here.
I understand. All right, so now listen, I shortchanged you because you're also on the executive board of the Greater Toms River Chamber of Commerce. You are also, and I feel comfortable saying this, that you may end up more in the Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders camp than you do in the Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio camp. So we have some topics that I'd like to discuss after the break. I'd like to talk to you minimum wage.
Okay.
I'd like to talk to you what your thoughts are on the election process.
That's fine.
I'd like to. There's so many things. Look, we won't even get to like the state budget and things like that, which I know you also have clear ideas on. We won't be able to talk. Although we will actually. I would also like to hear your thoughts on the passing of Judge Scalia. So all those things with Jonathan Petro, managing partner, Carluccio Leone, Diamond Doyle and Sachs, and immediate past president of the YMCA of Ocean County. Back after this.
Wake up with Jeremy Grunin wherever you go. Download the Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Now, back to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 and WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. 721, 38 degrees, getting to 48 WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio, streaming on the Radio Pup app and at WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160. We have Jonathan Petro on the line. Jonathan, I don't know what the world did before social media, before being able to message people in 12 different ways. It's because I wanted to send you a note, but I realized you're calling in from your cell phone, so I couldn't text you. And then I started to panic, and then I realized, wait a second, there's always Facebook.
There always is.
So that's it's fantastic. So talk to me as a board member, as an executive board member of the Greater Toms River Chamber of Commerce. You heard Kenny actually interviewing Rick Lee from Sheena on Friday. Great interview there. If you haven't seen it, haven't heard it, listen to it. You can always go onto our YouTube channel, WOBMAM, search WOBMAM. You can hear Kenny's interview with Rick Lee. By the way, if you subscribe, we wouldn't mind that either. We like subscribers to our YouTube channel. But you heard them have a long discussion around the minimum wage. Rick had kind of an interesting take on it. What's your take on $15 minimum wage?
I'm against the raising the minimum wage to $15. I think that's too much. And I understand where Rick's going with his points, and I was actually surprised to hear him give some of his points as a small business owner in Toms River. But I think 15 is a bit much. I think we need more gradual change. And I do believe, as Ken does, this is actually one thing where we kind of agree on political policy. But I think raising the $15 would actually cause a lot of compression and would cause problems for small businesses. I'm talking about the Y this morning, and the YMCA has some people working at our facility who are, teenagers or 19 years old and in college, and do I really need to be paying them $15 in order to, watch children in an after-school program? Most of these kids are here because we're a charity and want to work at a certain level and be able to get some experience under them. So $15 is a lot to ask, especially for not-for-profits in the area and small businesses.
Right. I agree with you. And I do think that we need to do something about I think that the current number is certainly too low. I think in a perfect world, I think that we need to drive more competition. We need to create more businesses locally, more businesses, more choices. Choice breeds healthy competition. Healthy competition breeds healthy wage increases. Right? If you're good at your job, you should be able to look for and you believe you're underpaid or undervalued, and you can't seem to see eye to eye with your boss, then you should be able to go somewhere else where you can get what you're deserving. That's the answer, not artificially, in my mind, shoehorning up a minimum wage number and squeezing out everyone in the process.
Exactly.
So, okay. So, good. So we are in agreement there. So we only have 1 minute left. So can you give me in less than a minute your thoughts on the passing of Justice Scalia?
Well, as a lawyer, I have to say that he was such an intellectual, and he really, whether you agree with his decisions or not and how he came out in the end, he was a great legal mind, and he pushed an agenda through the court that I think was necessary. I think he tapped into a lot of the conservative values of the 80s when he was appointed. I do think over time he did not evolve, and I think that the Constitution, while people say it's stagnant, is actually a living document. I think that's the best part about it. I actually got to meet him when I was in college, and he spoke at the law school at University of Richmond. I got to meet him, and he was such a gentleman and such an honest person. I truly believe he believed everything he wrote, every word of it. And I think that made a big difference. That's
great. And I think that's a great, honest appraisal. I know that you guys didn't see eye to eye necessarily policy-wise. He's ultra-conservative. You certainly are not. We're going to talk more about that with Jonathan Petro. We're going to talk about the race for the presidency. Jonathan Petro, managing partner, Carluccio Leone, Damone Doyle & Sachs. Be right back.
Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. 7:35, 38 degrees, getting up to 48 here at WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pup app and at WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We have Jonathan Petro, immediate past president of the YMCA of Ocean County, on the line with us. He is pinch hitting for Peter Rosario, CEO, who has laryngitis. I've never in my life lost my voice, by the way. I don't know. Knock on wood. I don't know how that's happened, but
that's shocking.
It is shocking because I talk a lot.
You do,
and I'm loud.
You are. You're perfect for radio.
Yeah. But thank you. But I haven't lost my voice. So Jonathan, you are by your own admission, and really the first step is admitting it. By your own admission, you are a Democrat. So. I would like to know, though, are you a Bernie fan? Are you a Hillary fan? Where are you?
I'm actually a fan of both candidates, but I've been a Hillary fan for decades. And while I appreciate Bernie Sanders and the message he's putting out there, I think when it comes to a practical standpoint, the person I want in charge of the country next year is Hillary Clinton.
Okay, and you're not concerned about her likability, her trustability. You're not concerned about her clear security breaches. You're not concerned about her high cheekbones. All of these things are okay with you.
The worst part is the high cheekbones, but no, and the alleged security breaches you keep bringing up. I disagree with the premise of the question, but that aside, every political candidate has some question as to their truthfulness. You hear the Republicans going back and forth about who's the bigger liar, and they're doing this on the debate stage. Every political candidate is going to have some questions as to whether they have changed their position, whether they were saying something wrong the first time, or whether they're changing their position for political reasons. That happens all the time, and so no, I'm not concerned about that. And when it comes down to the candidates that we have available to us right now, the person who I trust to be in charge of the country, whether she is likable or not, is really irrelevant to me.
Okay, and I like for a second I thought you might be an attorney when you went through that whole alleged thing. But anyway,
I do that in my part time.
Let me ask you this: are you at all concerned? First of all, how do you feel Barack Obama is doing as a president? Do you feel good about that?
I think he's a solid B minus.
Okay. So B minus. Does it concern you that Hillary continues to align herself more and more with the Barack Obama administration?
Yes, it does concern me a little bit because certain things that he's done, I don't think he's been forceful enough, especially foreign policy. So if she aligns herself with all of his foreign policy, I know she was in charge of it for a long time, that's going to maybe hurt her when she's trying to win over some conservative Republicans, maybe, but probably even our conservative Democrats. I think she's more of a hawk than he is when it comes to fighting ISIS. I think she's going to be much more forceful than he was. I think part of it, and I'll say this, I think because she would be the first female president, she's going to want to assert herself to show that she can run with the big boys. And I think she's going to be much more forceful on an international perspective.
Right. It is interesting, by the way, that she actually is pretty much splitting the female vote with Bernie Sanders. So I think
well, Bernie's everybody's grandpa. We all love grandpa.
Anyway, so by the way, Phil Brilliant is weighing in via social media, and his question was he would like to call in and argue with you, but we only have a few minutes. He did want to mention some security breaches. Do you email clients from your personal email when you're dealing with them? Probably not, right?
No, but all my clients do try to connect with me on Facebook.
Right, and you do the right thing, and for the most part, you don't connect with them, right?
Correct.
But Hillary might, and she might have then, instant messaged you some important things about the U.S. government. I'm just saying. Let me ask you this. So I know I look at it as a Republican. I have to ask myself, who is the more palatable candidate on the Democratic side? because at some point you may have to come to grips with that. And I do believe that as a Republican, Hillary, at least I don't think I would move. Right? I mean, if Bernie gets in, I think I have to consider other countries. Now, as a
you would have to do that.
Yes,
you would. Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out. As a Democrat, when you look at the Republican group, is there anyone that you say, all right, he'd be fine? I mean, I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't be overly excited about it, but I'll have to live with that.
Of the candidates who remain, I would say Kasich is still somebody who I find palatable.
So let's talk about candidates that have a chance to win.
Okay. I find Donald Trump to be an interesting candidate, and I think he's a lot more liberal than he's letting on. I think when it comes to social policy, I think he's essentially a Democrat.
Yes.
My issue with him is that he doesn't act presidential. And I think on an international standpoint, he would be a little bit of an embarrassment. I think other countries will look at us and say, we finally done it. We finally elected a reality star. We kind of did that with Barack Obama because he was young, fresh-faced, and said the right things. But, yeah, I mean, I got to give some respect to Jeb. I know he's out of the race now. But he seemed to be somebody who was thoughtful before he spoke.
Right.
And I think that's something that Trump's going to have to learn at some point if he's going to be our commander-in-chief.
Okay. Well, listen, so I think fair points, and I know that we can go back and forth about this all day. I actually find it more interesting that, that you and Kenny are in the same house, and he is such a staunch Republican. You are such a staunch Democrat. It must make for some spirited dinner conversation between the two of you. Look, but what I do think it shows is that you're both open to hear other perspectives, for whatever that's worth. So, Jonathan, I wish we had more time because I could spend all morning talking to you, and you have so much to offer, and you are truly yet another example of someone that is out in the community trying to make a difference, especially as a young guy. Doing the right things with the Chamber of Commerce, with the YMCA, with Big Brothers Big Sisters, with the Ocean County Vocational School. And you're the managing partner of a major law firm here in Ocean County. Jonathan, I'm happy to consider you one of my best friends, and thank you so much for pinch hitting today for the laryngitis-ridden Peter Rosario.
Thank you, Jeremy. I really appreciate having me on. And
can you tell me real quick, and where could somebody go if they want to actually learn more about the Y? Via internet, et cetera?
The best place to check us out is at our website, ocymca.org.
Okay.
And also, people are more than welcome to come to our facility. We have a facility at 1088 West Whitty Road here in Toms River. And check it out. We have 18 lanes of water. It's impressive to see.
Jonathan Petro, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back after this.
Rush Limbaugh today at noon. More Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin